1982. It was one wonderful day where the sun was raining scorching hot on most the beautiful city of Croydon. Now I remember one day I was going over to Chris. I was actually walking on my way back. I was like about 2 miles, 2 blocks from the home. The next day I went over to Chris and he said, "Well, we still haven't figured out the issue. We still haven't gotten that bonfires since he set up bonfires everywhere. And I mean, we have had Rick that had his barn taken down, and then we had someone else's barn taken down, which is the biggest thing, but also most destroyed. So one day I went to Chris and I said, "You know what, Chris? I just think this ain't right. All we've been trying to do is we've been trying to get Gwengo's aviation, but we cannot seem to get him. I don't know how, but it's literally impossible for him, and it's impossible for us to get him. Now what were we going to do? Now since all the sheriffs are dead, and now everything's done." Then Chris said, "Well, the only way we can do this is if we set up a meeting with both of them all." I said, "I don't know about that. I don't think it's important right now, but we don't know where he is now, but we'll just have to wait." So the next day, I woke up. Then I got a call from Rick saying, he said, Partner. I said, "What, Rick?" And I said, "There's flying chickens everywhere." I said, "What? Again?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, You know these are very strange, but like I've never seen chickens fly at all. But how on earth did they manage, and who did this?" And then I said, "Well, this is just amazing. All I've been trying to do, there's a lot of mayhem because of Gwengo. Now what are we going to do about it?" I said, and then Rick said, "I guess what we can do is, rather go ahead, we'll set up a meeting tomorrow morning with IFAU, and we'll discuss everything. We will have Ron's aviation, we'll have Chris, we'll have Lane, then we'll have Bubblegumsworth as well." And so the next day, I remember one time we got in the meeting, both of them together, sitting there at the table, we're talking about what's been happening. And so we were all there talking about what's been happening. Then the Infantry of Aviation Unite spoke up. He said, "People, I don't know what to say about you guys, but like, what we've been trying to do is we've been trying to get all this taken out. But I mean, how are we going to stop Gwengo's aviation from even trying to get all these bonfires done? Because I mean, 5 of our farms going to bonfires, we can't seem to stop them." And then Rick spoke up. "It's just damn amazing, because you see, all we've been trying to do, we've been trying to find ways that we can be able to try to stop this person, try to get him arrested. And then at the end of the day, he almost was going to put the whole city on bowling on fire." And then all of a sudden I spoke up. We said, "Well, this is something that we'll have to try to figure out ourselves. How on earth are we going to get Gwengo's aviation?" And it was at that time that Gwengo's aviation was hiding some bushes, and he was peeping inside, trying to hear what they were saying. And then, whilst they're speaking, IFAU Aviation Unite said this: "If we can guard them through the night, we can guard the entrances, or we can guard the barns, the remaining barns that are there. Then we will go ahead and then go and take care of those barns, guard them, and make sure he doesn't set them off. And then they said, I first think it's a good idea. Because literally, we can't stand one of Gwengo's parents anymore. After proving himself to be a bush, which he isn't, he's a Barnfires. And then I very spoke up. You know what? I think I know exactly what to do. We'll follow exactly what I just told. I think it would be good. And then Ron spoke up. He said, Mr. IFAU. I said, yes? I said, you know what? What if you and me, well, I'll go over to I'll say her at the police. I'll try to keep track of him. And if he's anywhere around here, then I can be able to report back to him. And then I said, good idea. I think that's a very good thing to do. Now, the next day, I remember one time that we went, and one time we were walking over to the barn. And all of a sudden, in the distance, we saw something weird. And it was another bonfire right before we were going to go to the barn. We were going to the barn to even go ahead and protect it. And at that time, it got burnt. Until the very next day, I saw something in the distance. And I realized who was going that fast. It looked like it was some kind of car or some kind of military driving it. And then I realized it was Gwengo's aviation. He had a gun, a .22 rifle, trying to hit me and both Chris at that time. Then what happened was, I was taking cover. I had an assault .22 rifle, one of those old school rifles, trying to shoot the car's tires. The next day, I woke up, and then Finnegan told me, and he said, Partner. I said, what now? He said, there's flying chickens everywhere, and they're trying to murder us. I said, what? And that time I put the phone down, and I ran over. And all of a sudden, when I was going out, I went back into the room. I had to go and get all that stuff where we were lying there. And then I thought everything was clear. And when I got out of the house, I saw a murdering chicken come in front of me, and I shot him, and I ran. And then at that time, we did not know what to do. But in that time, we did have not one single plan. And then again, it was deemed unsuccessful. And then Chris and me had gone over when we had to find another way.